Russian dictator Vladimir Putin believes that Russia is winning on the battlefield, so it should get what it wants. But the reality is very different. This is stated in an article in the New York Times. In late March, Putin claimed that Russian troops had the upper hand along the entire front line and suggested that Moscow was close to defeating the Ukrainians, an argument the Kremlin has used to justify its tough demands on Ukraine. "We have reason to believe that we will finish them off," the Russian dictator said. State Duma Representative Andrei Kartapolov repeated this thesis, stating that Ukraine must recognize the advance of the Russian army and listen to the language of the Russian bayonet. This tough rhetoric is accompanied by behind-the-scenes play around the peace talks. The Russian position has created a problem for the administration of US President Donald Trump. Moscow's inflated demands, which do not correspond to the situation on the battlefield, have effectively paralyzed peace efforts. In fact, the Russian army is very far from defeating the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Moreover, the occupiers are weakening every day, suffering huge losses. It is known that one of the key demands of the Kremlin is the reduction of the Ukrainian army and, in fact, the complete disarmament of Ukraine. In addition, Putin demands that, in addition to Crimea, 4 Ukrainian regions be transferred to him under control, including territories that his army is not capable of capturing. This even stumped US Vice President J.D. Vance, who is known for his pro-Russian position. He publicly stated that Russia should not lay claim to Ukrainian territory, which the Russian armed forces could not reach. Washington's success in the negotiations will likely depend on whether it can somehow convince Putin that good relations with America will bring him more benefits than modest successes on the battlefield. According to the Institute for the Study of War, over the past 16 months, Moscow has occupied about 4.7 thousand square kilometers of Ukrainian territory. This is less than 1% of all of Ukraine. And for this, Russia has lost about 400,000 soldiers killed and wounded. These are colossal losses. According to the publication, Putin, on the one hand, is trying to put the squeeze on Ukraine and achieve the collapse of the front, and on the other, not to lose good relations with Trump. The aggressor has no desire to stop the war, and this means that the meeting in Istanbul, if it takes place, will not lead to any serious result.
President Donald Trump arrived Wednesday in Qatar, where he was greeted by the country's ruling emir, Sheikh Tamim Al Thani, as he kicked off the second leg of his 3-nation Middle East tour this week. According to Associated Press, in a stunning engagement earlier in the day in Saudi Arabia, Trump met with Syria's new leader, Ahmad al-Sharaa, a one-time insurgent who had spent years imprisoned by US troops in Iraq. Trump said the rapprochement with Syria came at the urging of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. On the plane, Trump said he doesn't think Russian President Vladimir Putin will go to Turkey for ceasefire talks with Ukraine unless he also goes. "I don't know if he would be there if I'm not there," Trump said, speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One as he was flying from Saudi Arabia to Qatar. He noted that his schedule on Thursday is all booked out. Trump didn't categorically rule out visiting Turkey, but said he planned to send Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Trump also said he'll know more in a few days if Putin is just leading him on regarding his openness to negotiations to end Russia's war on Ukraine. Asked if he believed Putin was just tapping him, as he suggested earlier this month, Trump said in response, "I'll let you know in a few days." Trump also praised Syria's new leader after their meeting in Saudi Arabia. "He's a young, attractive guy," Trump said. "Tough guy. Strong past. Very strong past. Fighter." Trump also said he thought al-Sharaa has got a real shot at holding it together. "I think he's got the potential to do. He's a real leader. He led a charge and he's pretty amazing," Trump said, adding that he believes al-Sharaa will eventually join the Abraham Accords and recognize Israel. "I think they have to get themselves straightened up," Trump says. I told him, I hope you're going to join when it's straightened out. He said, yes. But they have a lot of work to do.
What happens on Thursday if President Putin doesn't show up in Turkey for the talks with Ukraine? What will you do?
Well, I don't know if he's showing up. I know he would like me to be there. And that's a possibility. If we could end the war, I'd be thinking about that. Now, tomorrow, we're all booked out. You understand that? We're all set.
But you'd go if he goes?
Go UAE tomorrow. And so we have a very full situation. Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't do it to save a lot of lives and come back. But, yeah, I think they're thinking about something. I don't know that he would be there if I'm not there. We're going to find out. Parker's going. And Parker's been very effective.
How are you feeling about how Putin is handling this? I know you had said a few weeks ago you thought maybe how Putin is handling this. You said a few weeks ago you thought maybe he was tapping you along.
I'll let you know in a few days.
How did you find the Syrian president?
Right. Right. I think very good. Young, attractive guy, tough guy. You know, strong pass. Very strong pass fighter.
Does that worry you at all?
He's got a real shot at pulling it together. I spoke with President Erdogan, who I'm very friendly with him. He feels he's got a shot at doing a good job. It's a torn up country.
Do you think Syria will join the Abraham Accords?
Yeah, but I think they have to get themselves straightened out. I told him, I hope you're going to join when it's straightened out. He said yes. But they have a lot of work to do.
There have been some reports of the Syrian president wanting a Trump Tower in Damascus. Did that come up at all?
No, I haven't heard. We'll have to wait a little while. Things calm down a little while with the country. I think he's going to do. He's got the potential. He's a real leader. He led a charge, and he's pretty amazing.
On Israel, you're not going to Israel. Does this trip sideline Israel at all?
No, not at all. No, this is good for Israel. Having a relationship like I have with these countries, Middle Eastern countries, essentially all of them, I think it's very good for Israel.
Can I ask you again on Israel, on the hostage deal? Did any of your people speak with Israel about the release of the American hostage? I'm sorry, on the sanctions lifting of Syria. Well, let me ask on Edom first. What credit does Israel deserve, if any, for that release of the hostage?
Well, they've been fighting a long time. They're warring, and I think they deserve a lot of credit. I think my people deserve a lot of credit, maybe the most credit. He wouldn't be there if it weren't for us. He wouldn't be living right now. Probably none of the hostages would be living right now. We probably have 20 that are living, that we'll be getting out step by step. We've gotten a lot of them out. And the last time, a couple of weeks ago, 10 people walked into my office, the Oval Office, and they said they had a 59 on their shirt in front. And I said, what does that represent, the number of hostages? I said, wow, that's a lot. They said, well, 24 are living. And now it's 20. The number is 20 and living. And 4 have died. And the young people don't die. Young people are killed. They don't die. So the 24 living of the 59, 24 living is now down to 20. And we got Edom out. It was great. His family was so thankful. We did a good job with him. We'll continue to do it.
What happened?
Mr. President, on Israel again, has any of your team been in touch with Israel, your team, about lifting the sanctions on Syria? What's their reaction?
Well, in touch. I mean, we told them we're doing it. The reason I did it, and I think it's been very popular, actually, certainly in the Middle East, it's been popular with virtually everybody. But the reason I did it is because I spoke with President Erdogan, who I get along with very well, and I spoke to Mohammed, as you know, just with him, and they thought it was very important to do. It gives them a much better chance of survival as a country.
Can you share what Netanyahu thinks about it?
Well, I think what's happened is Turkey feels we should do it in other countries. So if you looked at my speech last night, which I assume most of you were at, I think the biggest applause was when I said that we're lifting these sanctions on Syria. And that's because they want to give Syria a chance to live, to be great, etc.
An Emirati government, in fact, firmed in a $2 billion deal using the Trump digital coins. How did that deal come about?
I don't know anything about it. I really don't know anything about it, but I'm a big crypto fan, I will tell you. I've been that from the beginning, right from the campaign. I'm a believer in crypto, and if we're not going to do it, China's going to do it. It's the way I look at it. It's like AI. I'm a believer in AI because we have to have it. We're leading China by a lot. And in crypto, we're leading China by a lot. So I'm a big crypto fan.
Did you know about that?
No.